Hello, I'm Ian Richards and I'm going to show you how you can make a success of implementing computer systems in your company. I've built a successful software company from scratch and I've worked as a consultant to some of the UK's largest companies. I've not only seen hundreds of companies of all different types implement mission critical systems, but I've done it through the eyes of a consultant, a supplier and an end user. I've come across just about every type of problem. I've seen what makes poor companies fail and what makes good companies succeed. In this short series of talks, I'm going to show you how to become one of the success stories. My first tip is don't believe everything you read in the books. A formalised academic approach may seem to be the most credible, but do you know what? The newspapers are full of reports of very clever people running projects that fail, doing everything by the book. The main advantage of a rigorous approach is to the implementer, to give them something to cover their rear end with when something goes wrong. In my experience, the most important things in any implementation are, first of all, understand your business and have a very clear idea of what you want to achieve. A number of times I've spoken to clients about new software only to find out they didn't understand what their old system did properly. Secondly, use common sense and describe what you want to do in simple words. People who start using buzzwords and management speak are often hiding the fact that they don't really understand what they are talking about. And make sure you understand how the new system is going to work. Don't rely upon a supplier or a consultant to make everything work for you. You need to understand it. Your people need to know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. And lastly, the most important thing, show strong commitment to driving through change from the top. People don't like change and they won't do it unless they know that you are 100% behind it and you provide all the necessary resources to make things happen. And in most cases, people drastically underestimate the amount of resource required to put in a new system. Implementing a new system is a bit like building a skyscraper. The early work takes a long time and it's invisible to the outside world. But if it isn't done properly, disaster will surely follow later. And we don't want that. There will have been some kind of catalyst or a dissatisfaction that resulted in you deciding you needed a new computer system in the first place. So you need to define exactly what your need is. Once you've done that, you can specify what the objectives from the new system are going to be. Now, what you want and what you get isn't the same in many walks of life, and so it is with computers. So the objectives need to be a realistic expression of what can be achieved. Once you've got your needs and your objectives, then you can think about specifying a solution. And what that might involve is maybe some packaged software, maybe some software development, maybe a combination of the two. Beyond the development phase, we come to the implementation. That will probably require training and may require some kind of reorganization in order for you to bed the system in properly. And having gone live, it doesn't end there. In order to properly maximize the return on your investment, you'll want to monitor, maintain the system and look at how it can be tweaked and maybe enhanced to make sure you get the best out of it on an ongoing basis. Now, each one of these phases has its own problems and pitfalls. And what we are going to do over this series of talks is to look at each one of these in detail and go through exactly what the best approach is at each stage through the process. I hope you found this introduction useful. Please join me in the next episode where we'll take a detailed look at the first stage of a systems implementation, identifying needs and setting objectives.